even coming out of the engine most times, concluding that it's not contrail formation. Next point. HEPA, High Efficiency Particulate Air Filter, can be purchased for $15 by anyone. It has been used to filter the outdoor air and has filtered out unusual filaments, gel formations, crystals, and powders, which contain unnatural biological components. Next point.
It was mason jars, and they were brand new, sterilized, and that's what we catch the rain in. And then there was a HEPA filter that we tested the air with.
Okay, so you caught rain and then you basically filtered air. What did you find?
Aluminum and barium.
We haven't done anything serious on aluminum, and so there could be something terrible that we'll find tomorrow we haven't looked at.
You may remember the 8,000 dry lightning strikes that occurred in June of 2008.
Yes.
You may remember that. Again, my background, I've done lightning suppression work for Bechtel Power, and I've done worked in some of the first solar plants in the continental U.S. Atmospheric conductivity in the lower 48, I have read a couple articles that's been measured at 4 times its historical conductivity. More atmospheric conductivity would logically mean more lightning. The strikes that we had that day, I spoke to dozens of 30, 40-year veteran firefighters, and they've never seen anything like it. Atmospherically, they've never seen anything like it. And our skies were literally covered with aircraft trails the day that happened. But if you have a more conductive atmosphere, you're going to get more lightning.
Particulate materials have been filmed in the sky using simple methods by citizens. These methods include the corona of the sun and powerful lamps, which provide evidence of the substantial changes that is occurring in the atmosphere. Next.
Whether people believe in chemtrails or not, the geoengineering should be scary enough. And when people learn about geoengineering, chemtrails will then become apparent because they're the same.
This is from a snow surface at Mount Shasta. 61,100 micrograms per liter of aluminum. This is just ordinary snow water. And people are drinking this stuff when they're hiking on the mountain. And remember, government action is required at 1,000. This is 61 times over the government limit, and our hikers are drinking this poisonous water on Mount Shasta Mountain itself. Strontium, 383. Barium and strontium will take away from your bone structure, make for weak bone structure. The aluminum, though, that's scary. You know, what is it? Alzheimer's, autism, gosh knows what that's doing.
A number of other things, neurological.
We speak of these tests that contain massive amounts of heavy metals. Often the first response from people is, well, they're migrating from China. But California Air Quality Resources Board did a study on the aerosols from China, and metals were not amongst those aerosols. Again, the geoengineering patents specifically describe a polymer fiber to keep those metallic particles aloft a little bit longer. So again, if you have one of the most stringent air quality boards on the planet stating that these aerosols are not migrating from there, they weren't there 5 years ago, they're there in lethal quantities now, where are they coming from? Is that where they're coming from? You know, these aircraft you see laying these trails down, again, all I can say for sure is that the metals we're seeing match the patents exactly, and the patents match what we see above us exactly in the scope of creating artificial clouds. So we can only conclude this is the source of these metals.
Filament samples have been collected in a variety of different places. This sample appears as a spiderweb material, but these fibers are highly unusual in their properties. They contain highly dangerous biochemical components with no explanation of its origin. The Environmental Protection Agency in America does not even acknowledge the biochemical components and does not comment on it because it is not in their policy to do so. Next point. Atmospheric mold tests have concluded that there is high concentration of mold or fungus in the air. It hurts the immune system by consuming the nutrients the immune system uses to repair the body, so it damages our immune system. Sinus infections, colds, and flus can be a result of this. Also, a lot of cancers and other devastating diseases can be formed. Next point. Unusual biological components have repeatedly been identified in a variety of atmospheric samples. Particulate matter acts as a transport mechanism for biological materials that can stick to the components of a material, increasing respiratory illness.
Something very wrong going on with the ecology around here. When you should be getting 5.5 and you're getting 6.8, there's something damned wrong.
If I could just clarify, so 10 megatons of aluminum dumped into the atmosphere would have no human health impacts.
So let me be more careful here. We're separating out the toxicological, but so the aluminum we've only begun to research and publish now.
A potentially major scandal is unfolding after someone released thousands of emails and documents sent between prominent scientists of global warming debate. The New York Times has verified that these emails are legitimate, which wasn't too hard because some of them were written by and to one of their reporters. More on that here in just a second. But first, let's start with the science that has been so settled for all these years. What are these guys saying behind closed doors about their so-called bulletproof consensus? Well, Kevin Tentberth, he's a climatologist at the National Center for Atmospheric Research. He wrote, quote, "The fact is, we can't account for the lack of warming at the moment, and it's a travesty that we can't." How about Phil Jones, head of the Climatic Research Unit at the University of East Anglia? "I have just completed Mike's nature trick of adding in the real temps to each series for the last 20 years to hide the decline." Yes, he's talking about a trick that another scientist previously used in a peer-reviewed journal to apparently hide the decline in temperatures. Incredible.
Phil Jones, over the last 5 years, has refused to release any of his data, though it's being used for the UN to call for this global climate tax and to ban big televisions and to put tax on beef and taxes on having more than one child, total control of our society.
Electromagnetic testing has shown that the atmosphere is modified into a plasma state or electrified gas. It is proven that the atmosphere is used for electromagnetic applications. The presence of extremely low frequency, or ELF, radiation waves have been verified that it exists. ELFs have an effect on the direct nature of the electromagnetic field of humans. It's a proven fact we all emit energy. Artificial ELF pulses have been detected on a variety of different tests. The origin to these artificial pulses is unknown, so it must be concluded it might be a cause of chemtrail. These pulses have 6 significant effects to human health. 1. Human mental functioning, influence and control. 2. Disruption of cellular metabolism. 3. Suppression of the immune system. 4. Genetic modification and or DNA effects. 5. Influence upon free radical formation. And 6. Cyclotronic resonance. Next point. Radar anomalies also raise the concern that the electromagnetic environment has been altered. Next point. Electrolysis testing confirmed the existence of ionizing metallic salts in our atmosphere.